All right, so today's March 22nd, 2022, 5:40 PM. Traffic Safety Advisory Committee is going to call the meeting to order. We do have enough members present for a quorum. And
5:40.
yeah, 5:40. All right. So the first thing, actually, it's not on here, which is going to approve the minutes from last month. Did everybody get the minutes?
I'll move them.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Nice job, Abby.
Excellent.
All right, so the next item is new business. Anybody have any new business?
No new sign request.
The only thing that I want to bring up is that the select board did vote last night to place the engine brake bylaw amendment on the town meeting warrant. And so we just need a brief summary for that article. And Chief, you responded that you'll get a summary together.
Yes, yeah, we'll get a summary together for that, for the excessive noise compression air brake bylaw. Right. Is that it for new business? So nothing else? Brad, did you have new business or was that?
Nope, the only thing on the engine brake thing, I actually got it sent out late after Margaret sent hers. Did everyone get a chance to see the like the prototype of the sign for that?
I can bring it up if you give me just.
Yeah.
There it is.
I got one.
Doesn't work out too well.
Yeah.
That's great.
If you can read that, you're doing good.
I can even read that.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's the signs that they determined would fit best for the wording. And they are $130. Well, as of that typing, they are $130 a piece. Doesn't include the $23 signpost. We have the hardware, anti-hardware, because we use it every day anyway. And the only roads that I really came up for them is obviously Route 62 with the Hudson line, Boylston Road, River Road near the garden. River Road East, I was unsure of because I'm not sure the truck traffic that comes in from Hudson on that road. And it actually splits at the town line, then turns back to Hudson, then turns back to Berlin. And then the South Street at the Rotary, which coming out of the Rotary onto South Street would actually kind of cover both Pleasant Street and South Street itself. And then one on Whitney Street coming from the industrial area. Highland Street, there's really no trucks that come out of Bolton at the town line other than the equipment now coming down from Wheeler Road. So total there's 5 signs possibly that we would need for it.
Is it possible to get a temporary sign for Highland Street? Because I can tell you they do use their jig brakes coming down that hill.
Yeah, we can definitely put one up on a temporary basis until the build out is done. And then we can always relocate that someplace else.
Mhm.
But we can definitely factor in to get that extra one.
Cool.
So you're still thinking 5 signs or you think we should get 6?
Well, 5 definitely, 6 wouldn't hurt to have them because they are special made. So if anything would happen to one, we have one to put back up.
Okay, so it's like, what is there money? Al, how much are we talking total here?
6.
Second.
Just shy of 900, right? Oh no, yeah.
I'm just asking because the approval of the bylaw won't come until the beginning of next fiscal year, probably what's May, June, July, August. And I was wondering if we do have funds available in next year's expense line for the signs.
Yeah, it'd be $895.
How much?
$895.
$895?
I added wrong. I got 918.
Okay. Oh yeah, maybe I did.
900 plus or minus.
Tax.
Yeah, tax.
Yeah. Oh, I
So
I
Fred,
only
are
did,
those funds available?
I only did 5 signposts. I didn't do 6 signposts. That's probably what you got.
See?
Okay,
Hmm.
I believe we should have money in it because one of our line items was bridge, guardrail repair. And I'm not sure if it was listed as signs or not.
okay,
But there should be money in that because we don't have much guardrail work to do. It's gonna be more of a drainage year.
okay. All right, good. All right, I was just concerned that already cutting yourself short.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for, I'm sorry, were we on old business? Or was that just new business? That was all new, right? Any old business?
I only had added review and discuss complete streets project priorities. I think that can wait a little bit, but the reason I put it on here was because of the board's review of ARPA project requests or project ideas. And funding design engineering for complete streets projects and other infrastructure projects is a thing the board is taking very seriously as far as ARPA funding. So my suggestion or my request would be that the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee at your next meeting start looking over those projects. Chris, I don't know if you want to identify more specifically what the board has discussed on the complete streets design engineering.
Do you mean the chosen ARPA?
Yes.
I don't know if I have it here in front of me. Do you have the list?
I might, yep, let me dig for it. Hold on.
'Cause I don't have it here.
It's nice. Okay. There was, okay, sidewalks, architectural design. And so design review is needed for the sidewalks, and this was for downtown to Carterville. And then there was another one added for Berlin Memorial School to the town center. And this is specifically for design engineering for complete streets projects, most specifically sidewalks. But the board discussed broadening the funding to include any of these complete streets projects. So, we talked last night that these aren't just sidewalks identified from downtown to Carterville or from Berlin Memorial to the town center. There are also sidewalk projects listed for Pleasant Street. I don't know if there's Linden, but I think there's additional on South Street and other areas as well. So it's really for sidewalks and other infrastructure projects. So what we'd like to do is have the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee identify which of the complete streets project it would like to see rise to the top, so we can prepare ourselves for complete streets construction funding in the future. And Anna, I have advocated on behalf of the Capital Planning Committee to keep the Capital Planning Committee in the loop for review of all ARPA funded projects, because this is under, these project reviews are under your jurisdiction.
Cool, great, thank you.
Does everybody have the prioritization plan for complete streets?
That's a great question. Do you have, okay, Fred has it.
Yeah, I do have it. It's on the computer, but is there a way to get something that's easily legible?
Readable?
Yeah. 'Cause it's pretty big.
I could probably do something on the Excel spreadsheet. I will give it a try. But yes, the font is extremely small, so.
Do you have it, Anna?
I do not know.
Okay. So how about I send that out to everybody on TSAC, and then you could talk about it at your next meeting.
Because it really does specify priorities and then spread it out over many, many years. So something like the Pleasant Street sidewalks took a lower rung on the ladder. But it was, it identified pretty specifically which pieces of the pie,
Did.
how it could be divided up. And we might look at that and want to reprioritize based on what's happened over the last few years, but it would still give us a starting point for
Yeah.
discussion.
All right, I will pull it up and send it out before the end of the week. Give everybody time to look at it.
Right.
Yeah, without remembering where Carter Street was in that mix, it would actually go pretty good because of the no parking that we've been kicking around, being the raised sidewalks and the only way to be enforceable. So I think that would be kind of a good area to start.
The good thing too with proceeding with design engineering for these things is, you know, even if we don't get a grant right away, or if we can't proceed with a project right away, this design engineering will last a couple of years. You know, you can actually hold on to it for a couple of years while you pursue these construction projects.
All right, so anything more about the complete streets, or you want to go on the traffic safety updates?
That's all I got on that.
Yeah.
Let's
Any
hear
tra-
update.
Any updates for traffic safety?
I have none.
No.
The only thing that I have a question on, and Tim, I'm wondering if you might be able to check on this. We're supposed to get the Route 62 corridor study from CMRPC this spring, so that should be coming hopefully pretty soon.
I will find out.
All righty, thank you.
Yeah, and I still haven't heard back from Mass DOT. I know they're going to do a traffic count on Gates Pond Road. They were hoping for end of February or within March, but I haven't seen or heard anything yet.
I'd be surprised if it was that early because of the weather and the risk of putting down any lines with snow.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So I know that Sujatha said that there was, they'd look at that, but I think she's indicated that it would have to come once, you know, they'd gotten squared away with weather, because the equipment takes a beating otherwise.
that's true.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have seen, we do have a winter weather advisory for tomorrow night.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
A little more freezing rain coming in.
Great.
But that was because all my neighbors put all their plows away, and I thanked them. That means we're going to get a nor'easter in April.
Yeah, and all our big trucks are cleaned out.
Yeah. Yeah, always happens. The signs are still up. I'm still obviously with the laptop that I have, I haven't been able to grab the data off of them like you're supposed to. I actually have to dismount them, bring them into the station and find the time to do that and plug them into my laptop, hardwire cabled. So fortunately, my laptop only lasts about 20 minutes outside the station, unless it's plugged into a power source. And once it starts, the Bluetooth that gets activated, it usually dies out before I can extract the information. So working on that. We'll see if CM Geeks maybe has a remedy for it. They did tell me my laptop is 5.5 years old, and that it probably is due for replacement, but told them I have to wait till next year or next budget. So, but yeah, other than that, infrastructure project updates.
Our South Street Bridge is getting close. The grant program has to be submitted by April 1st, which is why I sent out for the letters. I got 2 more questions to finish right now before I send that back to VHB. And then they're actually going to submit the whole packet for us. The estimated cost for it so far is looking at the phase 1 design service is going to run 104, 235. And then the phase 2 design, which is basically the leftover stuff. The big amount is for all the behind scenes, which is like all the permitting, anything to do on the conservation end. The construction is projected at $556,000 with the total cost of $720,235. They're still going to shoot for the fall of 2023. So they do request how much we have in chapter 90. I've been speaking with Michael O'Hare. So since the town has done no projects in the past few years, the town has $890,675 in chapter 90 funds, not including the 193,000 that we have for this year, or the fiscal 23 year. That's the only part that makes me nervous about the grant, is because we have all this money, but yet we're looking to get an additional 500,000 for the grant. That's the only part I'm nervous about,
Yeah,
because this money alone would make
the,
a big dent.
it's going to be very important to identify other areas where you want to commit the chapter 90 funds, so that they know, even though we have this money. Now, how far does $890,000 get you when you're doing road work? Not very far. So if we can identify other priorities that we're using the chapter 90 for, and make it clear that we have to apply the funds there, my hope is that they would still see the need.
Yeah, and we just got an update from Brock's, which is where we get our asphalt mix from. Hot asphalt is going up $8 a ton. And then tack is an extra $15 a 5-gallon pail. And then of course, a dry aggregate, everything's gone up in our area. Because they have to truck it down to, like, from Brock's and Drake it, they truck their dry material down to Marlboro. We buy it in Marlboro, so we're paying the trucking fee. So it's horrible. But we're gonna feel the impact when we start paving.
Are you gonna be paving this spring or the summer?
Hopeful, well, I was hoping in the springtime, but we still have to mark out roads. And that's tomorrow's job, that, and we get a drainage job to mark out. For Miss Newton.
Is there any like priority on certain roads or?
Yes, we're actually gonna continue with what Keith started, that never went through, which is, there's a section of Highland Street. Most of it is gonna be overlay, because that will get us time to get into the deeper sections. So there's a section on Highland Street, Randall Road over by Hickey Foster's.
Yeah.
That one there hasn't been done since Denny was here.
Yeah.
And Allen Road, we have some issues there that we need to take care of, because that was a project David started and we never kept up with it. So hopefully we can get to them. The idea was to get all that done over the winter so we could like try and hit the ground running. But the two bridges is taking up time, and I only have so much time in the day to commit in the office without having to go out on the road and do work. But yeah.
Mary, I apologize. I didn't see you sitting there until I looked over and I said, oh, no. Okay. Fred, do you want to just briefly touch on River Road West, the pedestrian and, any kind of the progress on design work on the pedestrian and bridge deck widening there?
Yeah, so we have met with the Sennies a couple times. So for their main concern right now is getting the pedestrian bridge done, because that's supposed to be for a December deadline this year. And the bridge widening is supposed to be done for December next year. So they've already reached out to Contact for the pedestrian bridge. They do have a plan all the way down to the footings. Their work is being done by a civil engineer, which is why we've invited our engineers in, because they're structural engineers and they know a little bit more about the bridge design. Because Matt was under the impression, the way things were written up, we're just going to take the two outside pieces off and put two new pieces in. That's where we'll get the 24.5 feet. But our engineer, Carl, actually kind of broke it down a little bit better, that the way that bridge is designed, it's basically held together with cables that go horizontally through all the blocks. So once you take them apart, you're starting to open up the bridge to more problems in the future. So that's going to be a little more complicated, I think, for the Sennies, because they don't have the structural engineer doing the work for them. But on a meeting that we had with them last month, they are supposed to have a construction cost from UEL. I believe it's UEL, because they're the ones that have done the majority of their work down there, the site work. So they're supposed to bring that to the table in April. And I think that's where we're at. VHB is gonna be like not our spokesperson, but kind of like
They're going to be the review consultants for the town.
yes.
You know, I call it peer reviews, you know, they'll be, they'll represent the town in reviewing the plans that are developed.
Yes. And that's where we, pretty much that's where we store.
Right, so I guess that would be it. We'll get it done in 21 minutes. It's not a bad thing, right?
Mm-mm.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Mary, you're muted. Mary, you're muted.
Sorry, no wonder my voice isn't making. Before we adjourn, can I ask you all for a special favor? You know, Ginny Z, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, asked for a stop sign at the end of Carter at 62, and it was up in a week. I asked for stop signs at Carter, Highland, and Randall Road in August of 2020. I went around and got a petition from my neighbors in November, December. There were a few people that are queasy about it. I'm going to be sending a letter into the select board, Chris, on the Highland Ridge traffic. Margaret, you'll be seeing it. They're in violation of their earthworks permit. They have been the entire time. And I'm living right in the middle of this, and I need the town to do something about that situation. It is really bad. And it's hard for me not to personalize this. Those requests for stop signs were done on the town form in August of 2020. I went around and got the neighbor petitions. I really want to see those signs go up. And sorry, Chief, for the first week or two when the traffic light signs went up, cars were slowing down, stopping, looking at them. And I'm not asking for enforcement by the police department at all, but they're not working. So and the traffic trays, fine. If somebody wants to put them on Carter, please don't put them out by my house because I don't want to drive over them. My car is a low riding to the ground. I don't want to be driving over those all the time, even at 20 miles an hour. So for those who weren't part of that earthworks permit with Highland Ridge, all of their construction vehicles are supposed to be traveling at 15 miles an hour from Route 62 to the entrance to the Highland Ridge development. And that's a joke. So, I'll be putting this in writing, but shorter term, the stop signs will help a lot with that construction traffic. And if my neighbors get really irate and you get a lot of complaints, maybe when the development is done, we can pull the stop signs out. But I sure would like to have action from the town now rather than later. And I've been patient about it, and I'm kind of out of patience.
Yeah, the stop sign at Carter in 62, I mean, that falls under CMR. I mean, that's like pretty much mandated by law. To do a three-way stop at Carter and Highland is obviously a lot of logistics behind it, and it's not as simple. I know we did have that meeting. We did have you did have a petition, but there's a lot of outspoken neighbors at that meeting too that don't want the stop signs.
I understand.
I recall there were two temporary measures. One was the signboard, which Mary, you said for the first couple of weeks it worked. The other one was moving the speed limit sign up the road. Now, Fred, you gave me paperwork on that we'd need to bring to the board to petition the state to allow that.
Yeah, Margaret, I just want stop signs. Can we just do it? Can we just do it? It's the minority voice here on the street. It's not rational. The main actor there simply wants the chief to keep ticketing people. That's his solution to this. And I understand. I heard the chief talk about the cost of putting an officer at the court after you do the ticket. I sit on finance committee and I'm liaison here. It's not cost effective. The single most cost effective measure the town can take to address what is really a public safety issue is to put those stop signs up.
Okay, so,
And, you know, let me just, you know, Orlando fuel truck that fuels the equipment up at Highland Ridge routinely takes that corner at Carter and Highland at 40 miles an hour. You can tell, I can listen to the trucks and I can tell who's speeding and how fast they're going. Ask the people out working at 19 Carter in the yard when Orlando fuel goes by, he's got the hammer to, you know, he's got the pedal to the metal. And that's just one guy. I mean, it's the guys with the porta potties, the concrete trucks, it's the pickup trucks for the construction, you know, for the carpenters, the construction workers, it's everything. The big equipment on trailers, nobody is obeying the posted one. Forget about the earthworks permit condition that they drive at 15 miles an hour. That's a condition to that permit. Come on. And you know, and that's a separate issue. But this is a problem.
all right, I'm just thinking of the mechanics of so this, we've changed that street sign request form from police, fire, and highway department approval to traffic safety advisory review and recommendation. Then it'll go to the board. So Chief, what do you think? I'm not a voting member. Should the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee take this up and formulate a recommendation to bring to the board, and then the board would make a final vote on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best route to go. You know, that those speed limit signs aren't working, and obviously they're not following the earth permit restriction on the speed, then, you know, we have to take the next step.
I'm curious, those speed limit signs were supposed to, flashy ones, were supposed to track number of cars and amount of speed, right? And we were going to try and figure out how fast the average car was actually going. Has that data been collected at all?
That's what I was talking about with my laptop, that I don't get enough juice in my laptop in order to do it, and I have to take them off the post to bring them to the station, actually plug them in.
I see.
You know, there's an app on my phone, but then it's on my phone, which doesn't do me any good. Like, I actually need it on the computer so I can print it out, so.
I will say they also don't work consistently.
No.
It seems like they don't like cold weather,
Nope.
and they don't
Nope.
like people to go too fast.
Yeah, so I have them programmed, so it doesn't read above, I think, 34. Because I don't want any kids racing down the hill and become a TikTok video or a Snapchat video of who can get that sign to say 80 miles an hour. So, you know, which, you know, all the signs are actually programmed that way. They'll just flash, say too fast with no speed, just because we don't want to have kids showcase their speeds on social media.
A scary thought.
Yeah, it's scary, but that's factual, so.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Next
gonna,
meeting then?
yeah, we'll make that the first thing for, I guess we'll take it under, well, not new business, it's old business, but we'll push it forward. Push it forward to another discussion and make a recommendation to the board.
Chief, I fully recognize you were not sitting in that seat in August 2020, and you were not, you know, the earthworks permit business, that was not in your hands, but this would be a good time to finish the task of trying to get that area safer, get this area safer out here.
Yeah. All right, so looking at next month, I think the 19th, it should be the 19th. Can we do the 12th next month? And yeah, it's 5:30 still work for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Right, so our next meeting will be on the 12th at 5:30 at April 12th, which isn't, it's only a couple weeks away, so 4 weeks away. But
Or 12.
That's a Tuesday, yeah.
1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 weeks away, yeah. Yes, we'll get back on track and we'll do the 12th at 5:30.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll set up the Zoom and put it on my town government.
Yeah, we'll make sure that, Carter Street is back on the agenda as well.
Thank you, everybody, for hearing me out. I know we were that close to adjourning, I know, but
Well, we're still doing good. We're still at, 30 minutes, so.
okay.
All right, so, second motion to adjourn?
Before we do real quick, Mary, I'm not too familiar how the earthworks permit works either. Is there a place that's posted somewhere that I can actually read up on it?
Yeah, Fred, I will, I'll dig through my file on this and pretty sure it was a recorded session and I'll send you what I've got.
I hate to say this, but I think I remember the date of that particular hearing too. So if you want to look at the video, I hate to admit it, but I think I remember it. I think it was it was either July 12th or July 18th. What was it? Come on. Oh, come on. I thought my memory was still okay. It was-
Margaret, I have full faith in your memory, but not in mine, so I have paper.
I want to say July 18th.
July, you know what? You're right, it was July. And yeah, July 12th, 2021. You are so good. Yeah.
So, Fred, you could look at that video. Mary Arata would have the records on the conditions of the earthwork permit. We also have, because that particular bylaw is so complicated, we've tried to condense it into, I think we've tried to condense it into steps, and I can share that with you, just to kind of boil down the entire thing.
And Fred, Mike Sawyer is I think he chairs the earthworks committee.
Yes, he was,
Oh, okay.
or he is.
I was in conversation with him at the time, and one of the contractors that's done a lot of work at Highland Ridge, the Russo group, has been pretty good about traffic speed and about compliance, but they're not 100%. They're head and shoulders above everybody else. The Russos. Mike knows.
Not on the hill, they're not. They're just as bad as everybody else. They come up past your house and accelerate.
Yeah, they know me, right? They know me.
Yeah, right.
I'm like the signs. They see me out there and they go, oh. I'm taking down names and license plate numbers.
At least they don't pull over and yell at you like they did to me.
Well,
Oh.
yeah.
All right, so we're ready for a third adjournment? Anybody gonna stop me? All right, seconded?
Second.
Well, I thought you said so moved, no? I thought you're the one who,
I'm
yeah,
done.
you can't do both.
Second,
All right, so next meeting is April 12th at 5:30, and we'll see you guys then.